Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Costa Rica Crypto. And today I am on with a couple of people I've been really waiting to talk to for a super long time. And that of course is the team from Emanate. So guys, I'm really glad that we got the chance to sit down together. I guess kind of Emanate is like a decentralized, self-governing music sharing platform that really kind of enhances the proportionality of the profits back towards the music creators themselves. But I also know it's a lot more than that. And I also know that you guys really have like a strong music background. So you really kind of live and breathe for this stuff. Maybe we could just start with a little brief introduction and kind of how you guys found EOS and how Emanate came together.
Yeah, sure thing. Great to be chatting with you, Matt, and sorry to keep you waiting. It has been real busy over here at Emanate HQ in Sydney. I'm Sean. I'm the CEO of Emanate. My background is in digital technology management, marketing, advertising, managing digital production teams. And I've never been a professional musician, but I've always been really passionate about it, playing guitar, producing electronic music, DJing. My mum's a singer-songwriter, so music was something that was always going to be a bigger part of my life. Everyone in the Emanate team at the moment has some sort of musical background, so that's a pretty good sort of segue to introduce Jimmy.
Yeah, hey guys, Jimmy Frew, co-founder with Sean here, along with Trent Shaw, who unfortunately couldn't join us. But man, I've been in music for like 10 years professionally in every possible pocket you can imagine. I started out promoting shows, moved into producing music, then DJing, chopped and changed over a long period of time. I've also curated radio shows like on major stations out here, as well as audio engineered, got TV and licensing syncs in the US and also Australia. And as I said, yeah, I've got a strong community of artists that have kind of helped me out during my journey, and here we are now on Emanate.
So Jimmy had a song on Magic Mike, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Matt. You don't want to name drop, but it's a pretty big one.
Co-written, co-produced, Magic Mike, claim to fame.
That's awesome. No, as I said, I've been waiting to talk to you guys for a long time. Like, I'm personally excited about Emanate, and I really think that Emanate is like one of the kind of front-running ES projects that everybody has their eyes on. And I also know that it's not a new idea for you guys. And this is something that we talked about a little bit before, Sean. This is something that's been kind of in the making for the last 8 years.
I think in a way it has, yeah. Like there's, for starters, there's a lot of things that kind of had to happen along the way for us to actually get here. From me sort of meeting Jimmy 10 years ago and living with Stu Tyson, who's one of our partnering artists now. And all of the skills and expertise that we've built over the years. But the ideas behind Emanate did really start about 8 or 9 years ago. We sort of dreamed of this real-time music marketplace where any producer could publish some work and it would sort of instantly be playable in nightclubs around the world. And we called it like a real-time music marketplace. And I sort of picked that idea up and put it down a few times over the last decade or so, looking at how it could work and maybe the way fans could almost invest in a track up front, and lots of bits and pieces of ideas. But when I started reading about Ethereum last year and discovering smart contracts, that idea just instantly popped up, and I started writing and started putting a business plan together, and Jimmy was the first person I told about it. Jimmy brought Trent in, and we started working almost 12 months ago now. When we were working with Pedro, he recommended working with EOS well before it had launched, like back in October. People said we were crazy to start to kind of be talking about working on EOS, and why aren't you using Ethereum? And those conversations have gone full circle now, and now it's we're really happy that we chose EOS, and the demo that we just showcased in London really shows what the platform can do.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about that demo a little bit. And I definitely was watching you guys at the hackathon. And that was kind of one of the coolest things I've seen on EOS so far, but we won't quite delve into that yet. I think everybody kind of wants to get a sense of, the people behind the project. Obviously, we know that you guys live and breathe music. This is a big passion of yours, but I think oftentimes people kind of want to know, like, when you guys aren't at work and you're not slaving away trying to make Emanate happen, what do you guys do for fun?
Yeah, man. Well, I love to surf. First and foremost, if I could, I'd be out there 24 hours. And yeah, I just love yoga, and I just kind of just music, obviously. That's really it. I'm quite a simple guy.
Yeah, for me, like I love surfing and board riding as well, snowboarding and skateboarding, but honestly don't get that much time for it now. I've got 2 young kids, a 4-year-old and 2-year-old boys. So my life really is a juggling act between Emanate and looking after the family. But, I think your question was, what do we do for fun? Well, Emanate really is my fun as well as my work at the moment. So
I agree.
We're passionate about what we're doing, and I love hanging out with my kids on the weekend, and I love coming into work on Emanate on Monday through to Friday, into all hours of the morning. So that is kind of life at the moment.
I totally relate, my friend. I really can. And it's good. It's a beautiful thing. Like when when your passion becomes your work. I don't think too many people in the world can say that. So
yeah, we're really lucky, and it means so much to us to be able to do this and give something back to musicians and to the blockchain community as well.
Absolutely.
And I've spent a lot of time digging through your project, digging through the white paper, which is a really good read, by the way. Very well presented. I don't know who designed it, but it's nice. I like it. I guess we'll kind of start at the beginning. Like, what is Emanate, and what problem is it really solving?
Yeah, we've just been having a little bit of fun, Jimmy and I, recording a 1-minute video to try and get the attention of a VC and entrepreneur that we want to work with over in the States. His name's Steve Jang. So we just recorded a 1-minute pitch for him and sent it to him on every possible channel. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, look, the way that we opened that video was that we said, Steve, imagine if there was one place where artists could connect with each other online, share their music, collaborate, and get paid instantly for the work as people listen to it. And yeah, we think it's the missing piece of the music industry. We're not trying to disrupt Spotify, disrupt the music industry. We think we've got the missing piece, and the demo that we've built shows those real-time payments. It shows the collaborations, splitting the payments out. And it's a bit of technology that should be able to plug into VR experiences, something that, developers can use if they're building a smartwatch. We think it can actually integrate with platforms like Spotify so that they don't have to have big account keeping departments and people dealing with record labels and all of these complicated deals. So it's a powerful bit of technology. It's in the very, very early stages, but we think that EOS has the capability to deliver what it needs to deliver, and it's starting to work, starting to come together. So in a nutshell, collaboration and monetization for artists.
And trust, right? Digital trust, because that's the whole thing this technology is bringing us for the first time, which is really exciting and really valuable to musicians.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we'll probably dig into that a little bit later on in the interview. I guess, I think Emanate's really, really neat. I caught a video earlier today that I want to talk to you guys about briefly, and that refers to your token economy. I'm also going to post a copy of that video a little bit just down below here in the video, because I think that it's a really, really cool way that you guys have designed your token economy. Then this thing explains it really, really well, and it was just something that popped up on my Medium feed, so I thought that was pretty cool as well. But kind of speaking of that, you guys do have this dual token economy, right? It's sort of one token is kind of a credit system, and then the other one is a little bit different. Why did you choose a dual token economy to be able to kind of power Emanate?
Yeah, it's good for people to read that Medium article that you mentioned and watch the video. In essence, we looked at a lot of different models, and we decided really early on that if we just had one token, it was really difficult for it to make any sense for people to invest in a speculative asset, but then also be encouraged to use that that asset as a day-to-day transaction token. And to be honest, I think that's a bit of a problem with EOS at the moment as well. You've got this token that represents governance and voting, and you've got this powerful platform that can do almost instant transactions. So are we supposed to be holding this thing and voting with it, or are we supposed to be transacting with it? So with Emanate, we've broken that down. The Emanate token is the one that we're selling, the one that we're airdropping, the one that artists will be able to earn in the first year from the community pool. And it provides governance power. So the secondary token, we call it MNX at the moment, but it might end up just being some sort of EOS stablecoin in the long run. And you don't need to know too much about it. That'll really just sit under the surface. But in terms of our revenue model and how it works, when users in maturity pay a subscription fee for as an artist or as a listener, that fee gets converted into a stable coin. So it's minted. The coins are minted when that money comes in, so it's backed. And then when users cash out of the system, whether they're an artist or a playlister or a node holder, that token is burnt. So the value that's been pushed into the ecosystem is represented by the stable coin. It moves value around the ecosystem and it pays out to the people that are providing value. So it'll be bought in by users slightly more expensive than when people cash out, and the difference between those fees continues to fill the pool, and that's what rewards everyone in the system, what aligns incentives, and what makes the economy tick over. So, you know, it sounds complicated, but it is actually quite simple, and we think that there's a lot of projects that are going to start going in this direction, not just music projects, but you know, there's already a few out there that are doing similar things, and we see it as the way forward for crypto economies in general.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that I got out of that Medium post was the fact that the token really rewards the people who are contributing to the ecosystem. And I think that that's really, really important. It's not pulling speculators out of the process altogether, but it's designed so that the people that really care about the platform ultimately are going to be the ones who are getting the most value out of those tokens. So I thought that was really cool. As I said, I will post that link below. What's kind of your target market? Like, who exactly do you anticipate is going to use the Emanate platform?
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at the numbers out there for streaming and for professional artists. So there's 176 million people pay for streaming services in the world right now. We think there's around 5 million professional artists. It's quite a hard number to actually verify because you've got everything from people that earn 20 or 30 bucks here and there to multi-million-dollar pop artists. But yeah, based on the research that we've done, we believe there's around 5 million that are either professional artists or they're striving to be professional artists, so they are paying for professional music services. So there's a big target market there, and most importantly, you know, we're providing a platform that is designed for the future. And when you look at Generation Z, you know, the next generation that's coming after millennials, they're very different to the millennial generation and very different to Generation X, in that Gen X and millennials were very me. We've, you know, been introduced to this thing called social media. We're obsessed with selfies and building our online profile. Generation Z are actually different. So they've been brought up being told that the world kind of needs saving. They actually value community and they value we over me. And, you know, pretty soon there's going to be 2 billion of them on the planet. And we think that products like Emanate, like communities like Emanate, are going to appeal to people who have rejected, you know, big corporate structures, embrace the idea of centralization, and like the idea of a community that rewards people more equally. For sure. Yeah. You guys, as I understand, you have like a proof of concept right now, and then you're working towards an MVP. Can you tell us a little bit about the roadmap and kind of what the future holds for Emanate? Yeah. So the MVP is probably like what we call our alpha platform, which we'll be launching early next year. What we have now is more of a prototype or a proof of concept. We've got it right there on the mobile phone. We've been testing today. It's nearly ready to be deployed. We did showcase it in London a couple of weeks ago. what that shows is artists getting paid in 2-second blocks. And if a piece of music has 2 different artists that worked on it, those payments get split automatically. And we also have a smart collaboration tool in there, which is the tool that actually enables people to sign a Ricardian contract, agree on some terms, share their music together, and work towards publishing it on the platform. So that demo won't actually allow the public to upload their music just yet. It's a demonstration of the technology. But once we get to the alpha stage, we'll integrate the real tokens. There'll be artist profiles. People will be able to upload their music and earn value for the plays.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think the fact that multiple artists can get paid from a single stream when they do collaborations is also, it's a very interesting way to create trust in between, multiple people, because I think some of the best music is ultimately a collaboration, and that way everybody's kind of reaping the rewards. What would you guys say that you're doing to facilitate a smooth user experience to kind of encourage the adoption of Emanate and ultimately EOS?
Well, we've partnered with a mobile app called Vamper. And what Vamper is it's almost like a LinkedIn, Tinder mashup style connection application, not just for artists, but also for the industry in general. So videographers, graphic designers, just connect, preview their work, and decide whether you want to collaborate with them. So they've got 450,000 artists, and we'll be ready to onboard them early next year. And that's something that's really exciting for us to have them on board as a partner. Really promising.
So in terms of like ease of adoption, that will help a lot. And what you asked about UX, our focus is building a tool that you don't need to know much about crypto in order to use it. Most of the crypto kind of blockchain DAPPS and whatever else out there at the moment really do require a bit of private key juggling and all of these sorts of things. So there's no doubt that in the early stages there'll be a little bit of that, but we are designing it for mass consumption, particularly on the listener side. But you asked about the roadmap just before. So our actual production release is 2020 on the roadmap, and some people have criticized that a little bit, but look, it's actually not that far away. It's probably 16, 17 months away. And the reality is we want that piece of software to be something that any musician can jump on board with and start monetizing their music, start collaborating without having to know anything about crypto. And so that'll be a challenge, but the space is moving really quickly. There's lots of people working on tools. And one of the best things about working with the EOS community is that, there's things popping up every day that can help you, and really, really massive pieces of technology infrastructure can be plugged together quite quickly to solve problems that, years ago would have taken millions and millions of dollars worth of development, years and years of research and development to pull off. So, yeah.
I think Dan Larimer himself said that the best EOS apps are going to be the ones that utilize kind of the element of blockchain, but it's not necessarily visible to the end user. Those are the ones that are going to do well. So I really think that you guys are hitting the nail on the head with that plan, and it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. I also know that you guys are affiliated with a lot of local artists, and you also have some large artists on the team as well. And I also know that you guys do various work with various record labels. How important is working with artists and some of these record labels towards the success of Emanate?
Yeah, I think it's really important from the beginning, because I think we want to make an example of just kind of introducing the legacy system into what we're doing, because it is quite a big leap in new thinking and new ways of working. So obviously throughout my career, I've had many relationships, working relationships, friendships with, a community of musicians, and, there's just an extended network that reaches quite far. So the idea was to pull them in, to get their music, their stems, their parts, their samples. Hopefully their profiles are high enough for, aspiring artists to be attracted towards and excited towards maybe getting their hands on some of these parts that they've uploaded to collaborate with. And I also think that's going to help support a higher quality of music, or maybe like a faster learning process for, less established artists to, grow and learn and change and just fuel like new music across new spectrums and new ideas. We just finished a remix competition that we ran with 2 labels, with an artist, actually a Canadian artist from Toronto called Ralph 604 Recordings, which is Canada's largest independent label, and a smaller little French label called Unison. And the track was called Tables Have Turned. We had over 170 participants in that competition. And it was really successful. Yeah, again, showing our smart collaboration technology and giving them the storyline and idea and thinking around, joining together and collaborating and then potentially monetizing this derivative work.
Yeah, I think that people don't realize just how much undiscovered talent is out there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like the top 3 artists that were chosen by the label. The winning artist had a bit of a profile on SoundCloud or and a few other places, but the other 2, their music was incredible, and the community will get to hear it soon. But when we contacted them, they were like, "Oh, I don't have a bio, I don't have a SoundCloud. I'm just a musician, And I think like the middle class of musicians don't really have a way to like get instant monetization and instant feedback and collaborations with other artists. There's a lot of people just kind of siloed, sitting in their bedrooms, playing a bit of music that are so talented. And if we can help those people earn, $100, $200 a week or whatever, it's valuable, positive reinforcement that people are doing the right thing with their creativity.
I don't even actually think it's entirely about the money either, because I think one of the things I love about Emanate is it gives, like a fresher, newer artists to come in. Maybe their production skills aren't quite there yet, but they can produce like a loop or an a cappella or some kind of sound or sample that they can have up for collaboration, which potentially, without having a fully completed work that's professionally ready to go, someone in a top spot or a more mature spot in where they are in their skill set can come and use that asset, and they can actually get paid. So it's a pat on the back, it's encouragement. And, if I had that when I was, coming up through the scene, mate, it would have changed my life. And if I could have got, a new set of speakers or a sound card or little bits of pieces just to help me, validate me and encourage my journey, then it would just have made such a difference. So I'm just absolutely thrilled and so passionate that we actually get a chance to deliver something like this.
And I mean, maybe even fuel somebody's passion to be able to really get them some exposure, purchase equipment, all the important things that artists who are up and coming, they need that, right?
So value. Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Another thing that I love is you guys did something really different with your upcoming airdrop. It wasn't kind of the typical model. And I know there's been like actually a lot of support from the EOS community in the way that you did that. Do you want to kind of break down what your model was and what it's going to be rather for that airdrop and how it all works?
Yeah, sure thing. So we didn't want to do like just an airdrop kind of blast out to the Genesis snapshot and only the Genesis snapshot, because there's a lot of new users have come into the system since then, and there's also a lot of accounts laying dormant. I've seen some stats that were shared out around when you airdrop to all of those accounts, how many of those tokens actually get used. So people that were really keen to get involved, we've given them an opportunity to register. We've taken another snapshot on September 19th. So we've looked at who was holding at Genesis, who's still holding, who's bought more. And we've used that as a way to filter through the accounts that we want to drop to. So we're really trying to reward people who, A, care about the project, but B, others who understand staking, understand voting, understand the ability to hold a token and not just kind of flip their airdrops. And that's where we're starting with it. And then I guess most importantly, artists can come in and register, and artists who come and register with us early get a decent sized airdrop, and it'll be enough for them to stake their tokens on the platform and start earning money when the alpha launches. So that's what it's all about. And then there is a a wider airdrop of just a smaller amount to about 60,000 accounts, just to give them a little taste of the Emanate and spark a little bit of interest.
I think it's a cool way of doing it. And ultimately, you really want your tokens going into the hands of the people that are going to value them, right? You can send them off to people who couldn't care less about the project. They're going to slam it out. They're going to bottom out your price, which is like whatever, you know what I mean? I know it's not necessarily about the price of the token, but at the same time, it's about the utility of the token, and it's about the passion of the people who are ultimately going to be having this. And you really want to engage people who care not only about EOS, but about the platform itself. So I know that was something that was kind of widely discussed in the community, and also really, really widely supported, because it was just a little bit different, and it's cool. I also know that you guys have a bunch of partnerships. We spoke about one of them already, which is Vamper, which is absolutely massive. What are kind of some of the more well-known partnerships, and why is building partnerships important to the success of Emanate?
You want to talk about the Valerio speaker?
Yeah. One of the kind of interesting partnerships that we've got is Valerio, which is a speaker. They're based in Amsterdam, and it's essentially just like your Google Home or your Amazon.
Voice activated.
What's her name?
Alexa.
Alexa. Yeah, so essentially it's just that, right? But because it's linked to the chain, multi-chain, so like there's other platforms out there like Musicoin, Tune, of course ours, Emanate. And one cool feature that they've implemented is that if you're listening to a track, you can either tap the speaker or clap to tip the artist in cryptocurrency. So it's just such a great fun experience, and a great way to kind of educate listeners on how, not only can you feed value directly to artists, but do it from a speaker like that. It's incredible and so exciting to be a part of that from the ground up.
Yeah, and it's other partnerships, I guess, with the block producers. There's a handful of block producers that have started helping us out, which is really, really valuable. And the EOS community is just so amazing. We've been blown away by how supportive everyone is and how willing people are to help. So shout outs to everyone who's been helping us along the way.
I find that Emanate is kind of like the cool kid on the block. Like everybody wants to, and I talk to a lot of people about EOS. And a lot of people are really excited about it, because it's taking something, it's taking music and it's decentralizing it. It's putting it on the blockchain. It's getting people involved, and it's using the technology, right? It's really actually using the technology of EOS. So when I hear people speak about Emanate, they're usually pretty stoked, and they're pretty excited for what you guys are doing.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's all good things. I understand you guys are having a kind of a private sale right now. You're going to be moving to an ICO. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about the ICO? Why would somebody want to invest, and how does it kind of all work?
Yeah, I mean, the ICO landscape's changed a lot this year, right? So I guess what our plans were at the beginning of the year are a little bit different now. We have been raising privately this year, and there is still a private tier open. But we do think that we're going to open a crowd sale, possibly even in the next couple of weeks. And we're doing that as like a platform pre-sale. So there's different tiers open that people can get into. If they are a larger investor and they're really bullish on Emanate, then they can purchase a larger amount of tokens for a lower price, but they've got a longer lockup term. And then there's lower tiers that is a slightly higher price with no lockup. And it's also an education piece. So those tiers align to the different roles that you can play within the Emanate network. That will be open, and then we'll see how that goes, and then possibly move towards an open sort of main sale, which will get the hands into the tokens into the hands of a wider audience. Yeah. But I think like at the moment, the EOS community needs a little bit more tooling around the crowd sale process. If you look at kind of what helped the Ethereum ICOs to take off last year was tools like tools like PrimaBlock, different communities that pull different ICOs and things in. So I think there's an opportunity for EOS to represent trusted ICOs that are far less of the wild west of Ethereum, and that we need to kind of build some tools and communities that help support crowdfunding, because Yeah, it was a little crazy what happened with ICOs at the end of last year and early this year, but we wholeheartedly believe in crowdfunding as a concept, and also in utility tokens that are well thought out, like Emanate is, real utility tokens that actually have utility. So we want to see that wave kind of slowly come back, but in a more of a controlled and trustworthy manner than what it did a year ago.
Absolutely. Of course, you guys know I managed to sneak into the pre-sale, into the private sale rather, and I'm really excited that I did. And I just, I've been following you guys closely for quite a while. I'll continue to do so, and I'm really legitimately excited because I think that there is a high level of utility with the Emanate token. And as I said, I will post that video below, which kind of explains your token economy because I thought it was really intriguing. If Emanate kind of hits that perfect, if Emanate is just a resounding success, what does that look like for you guys? I kind of feel like Emanate is one of those things that really has a very, very good shot at mass adoption. Of course, that is the intention. How does that kind of factor into the way that you guys market?
Yeah, I mean, there's two questions there. What would success look like for us? We'd love to see millions of users on the EOS blockchain. Ideally on mainnet, we're going to deploy our demo to the mainnet and start seeing how that goes in terms of RAM costs and things. We think we might need a sister chain in the long run, but we'll see. So bringing in a lot of users is definitely part of what success looks like. Changing the lives of musicians, having people tell us that they've always had 10,000 followers on SoundCloud, but they've never earned a penny, and now all of a sudden they've quit one of their part-time jobs or whatever it is. And personally, just to keep working on something that I'm passionate about and giving back to the community. We just want to see the project out there and see people enjoying it.
I think small successes too, right? Because we are really trailblazing this whole space. And, the fact that we've broken down payments in real time into 2-second blocks, which, might be a little bit outrageous for network transactions, but to actually be able to showcase that and prove that the technology is capable of it, I mean, that's such a success. As an artist, I've had to wait, man, quarterly, yearly, sometimes just for those royalties to flow through. And it's just so frustrating to try and sustain yourself. So, breaking it and defining smaller steps as we go along, not just the big, pie in the sky and grand achievements that, we hope we'll conquer. It's got to be taken into perspective as well.
Yeah, the music industry is a big beast, and we try and make it really clear to through our communications that we're not trying to disrupt the industry. We think this is a vital component of it. And talking about those numbers that we mentioned earlier, in terms of streaming, in terms of professional musicians, if Emanate could take even 1 or 2% of that market and feed that revenue through the tokenized ecosystem, we're talking about a $1 billion ecosystem every year. So we do think there's a real chance of success within that, and it's something that the industry needs. Every artist that we talk to tells us that straight away, especially when they see the demo. Yeah. And
I think too, to just get some clarity around, we're not trying to eliminate, participants that add value. So we're not trying to eliminate record labels. We're not trying to eliminate publishers. We want to work with everyone who adds value to the chain that exists today, and say, this is a new way of looking at it. This is how it can benefit us all. And this is how we think it should be moving forward. So yeah, it's not about, pulling the rug out from anyone. It's working together and leveling the playing field and creating a common goal.
Absolutely. And as you said, if you can just empower a few of the kind of future Jimmies, then you guys are doing well. And I think you're going to empower a lot more than a few. So I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. I love the vision. I follow the project really closely. I'll continue to do so. I'm going to, of course, post all your links, like your website, white paper, all that kind of stuff below. Where can people contact you guys if they want to find out more information or get involved or whatever it may be?
Cool. Yeah, just emanate.live. We've got all our links to every social Telegram channel up in the top right corner. And we're Telegram channel's super active.
Yes.
Facebook, Twitter, Medium for all our articles, YouTube, Vimeo, you name it, we're on there. So
yeah, it's I do often kind of check into your Telegram, and I think that if anybody's interested in blockchain and they're not on Telegram, they're missing out, because that's really where you get to meet a lot of the people behind the projects, and yours in particular is always really interesting to me. So I always kind of get a kick of cruising it and some of the characters on there, and then some of the discussions that you guys have, even related to music. It's kind of it's a cool place to watch. Any final thoughts for the EOS community before we sign off, guys?
Not really. I think well, yeah, I guess like for us, we've been through a year of terribly declining market conditions, which is quite a tough time to be to be raising money. But what we've learned through that time is it's actually a really good time to be learning lessons and building products. And we've looked at our personal crypto community grow exponentially at the start of this year, and then sort of shrink as the prices went down. And I guess the call to arms is just don't be one of the guys that dips in and dips out as the prices change. Contribute to the community like you are, Matt, and like we are, and be the people that are creating the change and creating the next wave of interest, not sitting there waiting for it. And I think a lot of the people that are watching your videos are probably those ones that are making a difference. But yeah, I think that's really it from us. And yeah, as a project that's building, as a DApp, as people that are raising money, I think, as I said earlier, there's we definitely need to focus a little bit on the tooling that will support people raising money, launching their projects, and easily coming into the ecosystem. There's some great dev tools and everything there now, so it's really the time to do it.
One thing I would like to add is just check out the Links wallet, the EOS Links wallet, because if you're not familiar with EOS, and you can download this thing, you can create an account really easily, and just getting a sense of sending value and how fast this chain works, and then getting the clarity on, like where Emanate sits with that, with microtransactions in just about real time. You start to really paint a nice picture of how this is going to work and how it's possible. And it's just, for me, it's a no-brainer. And it would be a shame for people not to just get a first-hand experience of that and start to really understand through experience how this is going to change and evolutionize or revolutionize, the next era of music and history.
And EOS is finally making it happen, man. It's a cool technology, and thanks to that cool technology, we're seeing a lot of amazing projects just like yours. So, Sean, I want to thank you so much. Jimmy, I anticipate I'm going to see you. I know you have a girlfriend out here, so you're going to come out.
Shout out to the Costa Rican queen.
My friend, I'm looking forward to it. You better look me up. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. I hope you guys will keep me updated, and I'm looking forward to seeing the project move forward.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, my friend. We'll see you guys soon. Ciao.
Bye.